the Browns. Tristan, we haven't mentioned it yet, but I'm shocked we used all of our picks. I'll just throw that in there.
Yeah, I was not. And we'll also get into this as well, but I don't anticipate that many of these guys will end up making the roster. But like, yeah, I was shocked that we didn't make moves to go up. I know that from the press conference, AB said that he was around it, like he was trying to move up, he was trying to make some moves, and there just wasn't anything that he was biting at. And I think ultimately what it was I think people kind of knew that the later rounds in this year's draft were terrible. And you weren't really going to get anything spectacular. And people just weren't going to make moves. So it just wasn't worth it.
No, I agree. But moving on with the 6th round selection, pick number 206, the Browns took Nathaniel Watson, linebacker out of Mississippi State. I'll go real fast here because I don't have a whole lot to say. He's 6'2", 245 pounds. He's a good size linebacker. He's a box linebacker. He had 31 tackles for loss, 21 sacks since 2021. That's kind of my biggest negative here. He's been in college for an eternity at the linebacker position. And he doesn't have a whole lot of solo tackles, which is a little bit concerning, from the linebacker position. But all in all, I'm not going to say that he sucks. I'm not going to say that this is a bad pick. I think this could end up being a good pick. There's a lot to like about Nathaniel Watson. I kind of think he's a less athletic TakiTaki, not somebody who's going to really make a difference as far as...
I'd compare him, me personally, I'd compare him a little bit more to Anthony Walker. But again, it's... Yeah.
I mean, he's a run linebacker. Yeah. He's best against the run. So, as far as his role with the Browns, if he does end up making the team, which I think we're at the point here where it's like it's not a guarantee, I think he is a rotation linebacker, to say the least. I think he is somebody you bring in on rundowns. And aside from that, I don't really have a whole lot to say on him. I think he's kind of good at what he's good at, and, we'll see. We'll see if he can be anything meaningful for you. So, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, again, you kind of said it, like, he's more so built for the run, led the SEC in tackling, has had decent amount of sacks, but again, he's an older player, so you kind of expect that. I think if you're the Browns, at best with this pick, you're hoping that he's a guy that you can sub in rundown situations. Like, very situational linebacker, and then, in all honesty, if he's going to make this team, he's playing special teams. Like, that's the biggest pull with him. You're hoping that he can do something for you special teams wise. Outside of that, I don't really see a high ceiling with him. I don't really see how he gets on the field a lot. But at the same time, I'm willing to be optimistic about this pick and say that, hey, maybe he can fill a role and be a good run stopping linebacker that we need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all I have to say. If you're ready to move on.
Yeah, no, let's, like, if we're being honest here, these guys have less than a 50% chance of making the roster, starting from Nathaniel Watson, and it kind of goes lower with each pick.
Yeah.